What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP. I wanted to touch on a few topics, going on today and everything. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that was going on. I certainly want to touch on this shit right here. There's this narrative, right, put out by the parasite media, you know, clowns here on YouTube, right, that LeBron James didn't become the player who he was until he went to Miami, which is a whole bunch of bullshit that I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Do you guys not remember this guy coming out of high school, right? The guy was already pinned as he could play the NBA, number one draft pick, took, had all kinds of recruitments and all that stuff, had all kinds of teams actually trying to clam to draft him, right? Never mind all that. We get all the story and shit, right? Never mind all that shit, right? He comes in the number one draft pick, LeBron James, 2003 NBA draft, right? 2003 NBA draft, number one pick, number one draft pick, okay? He's exceeded expectations, right? The draft class, along with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, right? Carmelo Anthony, of course. Darko Milicic, who turned out to be a bust. Was TJ Ford in that draft? TJ Ford. Remember TJ Ford, anybody that played for the Milwaukee Bucks? Anyway, fast forward, right? This is, I'm talking about, never mind the fact that he won Rookie of the Year. His second year, he averaged 39 and 8, right? Second year, averaged 39 and 8. And in 2007, took his team to the NBA Finals, right? At 22 years old, right? Never mind all that. Yeah, the narrative is that Dwayne Wade taught LeBron James how to win. Okay, if that's true, fast forward. Of course, Dwayne Wade won the NBA championship in 2006 over the Dallas Mavericks. People just remember that finals, right? But you go look back at that 2006 Miami Heat team, right? That team was loaded. Yeah, a lot of them were like at the tail end of their primes. In particular, Shaq. But you had Alonzo Mourning. You had Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, Darrell Wright, Shandon Anderson. Who else? Udonis Haslem, Jason Capono, all to compliment Dwayne Wade, okay? Dwayne Wade, long story short, wins Finals MVP and one of the greatest Finals performances of that era, right? Okay? And let's fast forward to 4 years after that. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. This is before the Big Three in Miami came about 5 years later. 2006-2007 season, Dwayne Wade comes in as the defending champ. His team are the defending world champion Miami Heat. LeBron is starting his fourth year in the NBA. Yeah, fourth year in the NBA and shit, right? Leads his team to the finals. We all know what happened when, had that great playoff performance against Detroit. Won that series, went to the finals, okay? Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade, Miami Heat gets swept by the Chicago Bulls, okay? So, Dwayne Wade is on the Miami Heat that got swept, and LeBron James goes to the finals. Okay? 2008 season. LeBron James takes the eventual NBA champion, Boston Celtics to 7 games. A bounce here or there, right? A bounce here or there, okay? Alright? It's possibly we're having a different conversation as far as who wins that series and shit. Alright? He takes his team to Game 7, loses to the eventual champion Boston Celtics. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade didn't even make the playoffs. Didn't even make the playoffs. Had the worst record in the NBA. What was that? 6-66 or some shit like that, right? 6-66. And yeah. Basically that was it. That was it. 2009, right? LeBron James, first MVP season, averages a little over 29 points a game, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 29, 8, and 8. He's putting up 29, 8, and 8, and is leading a team that's not talented, that's not really talented. He's exceeding expectations with that team, because that team wasn't even pegged as a favorite to get to the championship. During the season, they were pegged as favorite, but not before the season. They basically overachieved. They overachieved, winning 66 games, and LeBron James loses in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, Eastern Conference Finals to the Orlando Magic in 6 games. Okay. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade, while he did make the playoffs, he gets knocked out in the first round by the Atlanta Hawks with John Smith, Al Horford, Joe Johnson, and Jeff Teague, right? And what a coincidence, that's the same team LeBron swept the next round, okay? All right? So let's go to 2010. Both these cats lose to the Boston Celtics. Dwayne Wade loses in 5 games. LeBron loses in 6. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Don't get me wrong. LeBron didn't play well in that series at all. You gotta be better than that shit, okay? In my mind, they should have won that series, but that's neither here nor there, right? They both lose to the Boston Celtics, right? My point is, without mentioning Chris Bosh in this situation, Chris Bosh, what's the correlation here with this shit, right? 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. The whole narrative is LeBron got taught how to win by Dwayne Wade. But yet, he's getting farther than Dwayne Wade. Plus, add on to the fact that 2009, 2010, he was back-to-back MVP winner. He made the All-NBA first team, and this is the run where he started to make all defensive teams, right? LeBron was winning just like everybody else in the history of the NBA. He needed adequate help. He couldn't do it alone. He couldn't do that shit by himself, okay? Nobody's out here saying Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson to win, or Tim Duncan needed Greg Popovich and David Robinson to win, or Kobe needed Shaq and Phil later on to win and shit, or Robert Horry and shit. None of that dumb shit. These players were going to be great regardless. Whether they won rings or not, that's another whole part of the equation. These players were going to be do the things that they were going to do regardless of the situation, and I don't agree that. I just find it kind of strange that Shannon Sharp all of a sudden is like agreeing with Stephen A. Smith on this particular subject and shit, right? I don't know, man. Shannon Sharp has been hanging around Stephen A. Snitch and skipping them too damn long for the past couple years. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying that Miami Heat didn't play a role in him getting to the next level, because they did. Because he did, right? But what I'm saying is, this notion that LeBron all of a sudden flipped the switch and started winning, and only won because of Dwayne Wade, when he was getting farther than Dwayne Wade, right? If that's the case, how come, while LeBron was coming up short against the Dallas Mavericks, how come Dwayne Wade couldn't pick up the goddamn slack in 2011? So in all other words, the Miami Heat lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, all right? They lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 2011, okay? So this bullshit about Dwayne Wade taught how LeBron how to win. If anything, they all got together, and it was Pat Riley and the system of the Miami Heat and the culture of Miami Heat that molded all three of them into winners. Because let's be honest, Chris Bosh, I think during those years, if I'm not mistaken, he only made the playoffs twice during them years. All the rest of the time, he was missing the playoffs. So, actually, who needed who? It's just they got together, right? They won 2 championships. They lost 2 finals. They got to the next level together. It just so happens that LeBron was the best and most dominant player on that team, right? Just like Michael Jordan was the best and most dominant player with the Bulls. Just like Tim Duncan with the Spurs. Just like any other top all-time player, Just like Kobe was the most dominant player on those back-to-back Laker teams with Pau Gasol and all them guys and Lamar Odom and Derek Fisher, right? So, it's funny how when it comes to LeBron, everybody wants to move the goalposts, you know what I mean? It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, you know what I mean? And it's like, they do that because they want to find any little minuscule criticism and use that to criticize. Whether it's not taking the last shot, making the right basketball play, never mind that in particular unique situations, in various situations, Michael Jordan passed the ball, right? Larry Bird passed the ball. Okay? And LeBron is proven to be one of the most clutchest players in league history. You know, remind me, just look at his playoff resume and tell me he's not clutch. Speaking of which, you still got these clowns out here in the YouTube community trying their hardest to smear this man's name, you know what I mean? Of course, you got Pandemic TV's punk ass. Then you got Too Far for TV. Then you got this dude, 78 Sports TV, this, studio gangster and shit, right? Then you got fucking Kuncino, and then the rest of these clowns, Rated R Sports and shit. But this one guy in particular really got exposed for his bullshit. And I'm talking about DreamersPro, right? Long story short, he made a video in response to Stephen A. Smith's bullshit about, there was a gripe that why didn't LeBron attend Kobe Bryant's funeral, which was immediately debunked, right? And then he went on, Stephen A. Smith went on this bullshit ass tirade talking about why you ain't go to Dwayne Wade's why you didn't go to Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame speech? Yada, yada, yada. What kind of friend are you and shit? Well, that says a lot about you. Then typical leech, typical front runner, typical follower, DreamersPro follows that up, agreeing with every word Stephen A. Smith said. Yet, these clowns don't realize that this man's son was in a hospital who almost died, dumbasses. His son almost died, dumbasses. I would think that Dwayne Wade, and I'm not even a fan of Dwayne Wade's no more, man. After all the shit that's going on with him, that's a whole other personal thing that I might, that's a whole other conversation and shit, okay? right? But I'm pretty sure they had conversations behind the scenes to where, yeah, man, take care of you first. Take care of your fan first, you know what I mean? Your son went through a whole traumatic experience where he almost lost his life, all right? So, never mind me, you know what I mean? Take care of you first. Take care of your fan first, you know what I mean? I could be a distant second. I'm pretty sure that kind of conversation took place behind closed doors, right? But you got this clout chasing punk ass DreamersPro who, let's face it, this motherfucker don't know shit about basketball, man. He's just like every one of these clout chasers on YouTube, man. They talk a good game and shit. They think they know shit about basketball when in reality their asses probably don't even watch games. They only watch games for narratives. Narratives about their favorite player. They can't break down X's and O's. They can't break down what's actually going on in the game and shit, right? They can only do narratives and cliches and if this player's is clutch or this player's legacy is on the line and shit. They can't break down, these clowns can't break down X's and O's, man. And goddamn DreamersPro is one of these motherfuckers, man. Like, and the way that this dude tried to paint that LeBron was resentful of Kobe made it sound like that he didn't even attend the man's funeral. Made it personal with this man and shit, right? To the point where he's over here making up stories talking about LeBron jealous of Kobe, LeBron never cared for Kobe, LeBron using Kobe and all that shit, right? When it was when it was complete opposite. Kobe and LeBron were very close, very close. Matter of fact, the day before his untimely passing, Kobe shouted out LeBron for passing him on the all-time scoring list. What does that sound like? But yeah, you got these parasites in the media like Stephen A. Snitch and DreamersPro want to flip it to serve their narrative. You know, they want to serve their narrative and shit, right? They want to sell their story, serve their narrative, serve their agenda. You know, but I want to shout out FYF. You know, FYF Lamont. He brought DreamersPro on his panel and shit and exposed this clown, right? He definitely exposed this clown, you know what I mean? Asked him, what was your motivation behind making that video, making these false accusations about LeBron not attending Kobe's funeral? When it was debunked by the New York Times, the LA Times, Essence Magazine, and even LeBron came out and said that he was an emotional wreck after seeing his best friend being close, and then one day next year, and then one day later, 24 hours later, he's gone. Anybody would be an emotional wreck. But nah, none of you clowns understand that shit, particularly you DreamersPro. So, yeah. Dude got exposed today for being a flat out hater, man. And the rest of these clowns need to be exposed for that bullshit. I'm talking Dame TV, I'm talking DreamersPro, I'm talking Two Fraud, Ticket, damn near Pandemic TV, of course. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Tell me what y'all think. Hit the like, subscribe, man, and I'ma holler at y'all people later.